Hello guys, so I hope you are doing well. So today in this video I want to talk about how to obtain the permanent residency in Russia. How do you get the permanent residency in Russia? I did a video where I talk about how to obtain the temporary residency, because in Russia there are two levels to this game. There is first, you need to obtain first the temporary residency, which is usually given to you for 3 years, and only after that you can obtain the permanent residency, which is doesn't have a limit. It's like it's almost like the Russian passport, meaning there is no expiration date. So how do you obtain the permanent residency in Russia? In fact, there are two roads to obtain the residency, the permanent residency. Number one road is through the marriage road, meaning you get married to a Russian citizen, and you get married to a Russian citizen, you obtain the temporary residency, and then you obtain the permanent residency. It's very simple. Now the second road is the road that concerns most of my audience, which is through the study visa, meaning through studies. You obtain the residency through your studies. For those who don't know, in Russia, since 2022, you have the ability to apply for a permanent residency after your studies, after you finish your course. Before 2022, it was not possible, meaning when you get when you finish your course, you go back to your country, except those who got the red diploma, because in Russia you have two kind of certificate. Like I say, for example, if you obtain the bachelor's degrees, there are two kinds of certificate. There is the blue certificate and the red certificate. The blue is the normal, meaning you pass normally, just pass normally. Now when you get the red, meaning you have a very high. In fact, the red is to show that you pass you had very good grades. So in before 2022, it was only possible for you to deposit for the residency if you had the red certificate. Those who had the blue certificate were obliged to leave the country, or if maybe they got married to a Russian citizen, then they had the ability to stay in the country. So after 2022, the law came out that you can now apply. Anybody can apply for the permanent residency immediately after your studies. Now, which documents are needed? The main document that is needed here is the temporary residency. Meaning, before applying for the permanent residency, you need a temporary residency. Now, the temporary residency is given to you, as I already mentioned in one of my videos, till the end of your course plus 6 months. Meaning, if your course is finishing, maybe you are finishing your course, maybe I don't know, in June 2030, they'll add 6 months to it. They'll give you a temporary residency plus 6 months from that date. Meaning, if you are ending in 2030 plus 6 months, I think it falls in December, something like that. So they will give you the temporary residency, the temporary residency till December. Then these 6 months, this 6 months is given to you so that you should have time to apply for a permanent residency. Meaning, if they gave the temporary residency and it expires immediately after your studies, then you will not have time to apply for the permanent residency. That's why they add those 6 months, so that during those 6 months you can apply for the permanent residency. So that's how you can apply for the permanent residency in Russia. Meaning, you first of all get your temporary residency as a student, as a full-time student, like I already mentioned. Meaning, you need to be a full-time student to ask for the temporary residency. If you are not a full-time student, it would not be possible for you to ask for the temporary residency. Now you are a full-time student, you get your certificate, full-time certificate. You can't get a part-time certificate and ask for the residency. You should be full-time. And then when you get your certificate, now immediately you can start your process to apply for the permanent residency. And when they give you the permanent residency, it's for life. In fact, it's for life, meaning you can move to the passport, or you can stay with the residency. So that's how to obtain the permanent residency in Russia. I think everything is clear, and a lot of people that are interested, you can just contact me, and we'll see how we can organize a trip.